This week in history, a trivia style. Ya baguts. I had to ask for it many times. And uh, here we go. Question number one. November 16th, 2001, the first Harry Potter film premiered in the United States. What was the subtitle? Right now, I can see Jessica running to her phone because she knows the answer and she wants to be the first one to say it. Tori is also running to her phone. These are Harry Potter fanatics and they want to say the answer. James is the first one to pop in with an answer. The options are A, Chambers of Secrets, B, Sorcerer's Stone, C, Prince of Azkaban, or D, Goblet of Fiori. No, that's flower. Fire. Goblet of Fire. November 16th, 2001, the first Harry Potter film premiered in the United States. What was the subtitle? Chambers of Secrets, Sorcerer's Stone, Prisoner of Azkaban, or Goblet of Fire. Sorcerer's Stone is the only answer I got over there. Lettuce decided to join us. Sorcerer's Stone in England, it was philosophers. Robert goes with answer A, Chambers of Secrets. Jessica goes with Chambers of Secrets. I don't freaking know. But if Jessica says Chambers of Secrets, I'm rolling with Jessica. Chambers of Secrets. I don't care what her hubby say. Moving on, November 17th, 1869. The Suez Canal officially opened. What two bodies of water does it directly connect? All right, that works for me too. 1869, November 17th, the Suez Canal officially opened. It connects two bodies of water. What are the two bodies of water it connects? Here are your multiple choice options. A, the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. B, the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. C, the Red Sea and the Arabian Sea. Or D, the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. It's okay, especially on this one, because I don't want you breaking your brains trying to spell Mediterranean. You can abbreviate it Med if you want, if you need to. November 17th, 1869, the Suez Canal officially opened. Which two bodies of water does it directly connect? Again, your option, Robert goes with D, the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, which is no surprise from a guy who's only been outside of the country one time, and that was to see me. James goes with the Red Sea and the Med. Again, your options, the Atlantic and the Mediterranean and the Red Sea and the Arabian Sea, or the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. So far, we've had two answers, Robert with a D, James with B. Waiting on Jessica. Jessica. While we're waiting on her, I will give you my answer. It is the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. That's what the Suez Canal connects. I'm the son of a sailor. Yes, it is freaking windy out. Jessica pops in with the Med and the Red Sea. November 18th, 1883. United States and Canadian railroads standardized what for the first time? It's November 18th, 1883. Canada and the United States decide to standardize something. What could it be? Here are your multiple choice options. Was it the National Train Gauge, Stupid metrics. Was it time zones? Was it air brake systems? Or was it railroad signaling colors? Robert goes with prostitution. Hilaire. JT goes with track width. And he's wrong. How do I know that track width is wrong? Because track width is the same as cart width. If you didn't know this, here's an interesting piece of history for you. If you walk down the streets of the ancient village of Pompeii, you'll see that they have roads, and inside those roads are divots, and those divots are the width of a cart. Carts pulled over the same trail for hundreds and hundreds of years divoted the stone into these cart rails. And the cart rail, since the time of Pompeii, has never changed. So when modern technology decided to answer with a choo-choo train, they are still the width of a cart rail. That's right. You learned something today. Looking over here at the answers, James goes with track width. James goes with gauge. Robert goes with gauge. James goes with Appian Way. Here we go. November 18th, 1883, U.S. and Canadian Railroad standardized what for the first time? National train gauge, time zones, air brake systems, or railroad signaling colors. James and Robert are both really emphatic on train gauge. I'm going to tell you, it's time zones. You didn't see that coming. Because the long diatribe on train gauge, you didn't see the fact that I was going to say time zones. It's time zones. November 19th, 1863. Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. How many sentences are in the Gettysburg Address? I see your answer, Jessica. You're wrong, but I see it. November 19th, 1863. Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. How many sentences are in the speech? Huh? Do you know? Do you know? Here are your options: 5, 10, 2, and 3. And using my ancient method, I would get rid of 2, and I would get rid of 10, and that would give me 3 or 5. But I also know that it's not 5. It's 10. It's 10. That's my answer. I got to do the TikTok thing to prove I'm still alive. Hold on one second. Yeah, ghoulies. It's on a springy thing. All right. November 19th, 1863, Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. How many sentences in the speech? Was it 5, 10, 2, or 3? Robert says 3. I have no idea. I've just picked something. That speech is overrated, and it was Lincoln B-side done as an afterthought. I disagree with you, sir. I disagree with you, and I don't know why you hate. I'm not going to do that. So what people don't know is the Gettysburg Address was delivered in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, not as a wartime speech, but as a funeral speech. They were dedicating the cemetery in Gettysburg that buried all of the people that died in Gettysburg. And the local politician was the principal speaker. And Abraham Lincoln, this is a different time, of course, said, hey, I'd like to speak at the thing. And they said, okay, but you can only have 2 minutes in it at the end. So they're all sitting there, and the guest speaker, a local politician, he pontificates for 2.5 hours. Just blah, 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 blah. These men died. We're burying them here. Blah, 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 blah. No one knows his name or anything he said that day. But immediately he was followed by the President of the United States, the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. who in 2 minutes and 45 seconds laid out the Gettysburg Address that changed the world. So you might think down on it, James, but I disagree. I'm going to go with 10. James is going to go with 5. Robert's going to go with 10 after he said 3. Jessica needs a personal invite for every question. Waiting on your answer, Jessica. November 20th, 1945. The Nuremberg trials, Nuremberg, not Nuremberg. November 20th, 1945, the Nuremberg trials begin. How many major Nazi leaders were indicted at the start of the first trial? Nuremberg is a famous racetrack. Nuremberg is a favorite trial. The options are 12, 20, 24, or 30. I am going to use the tried and true method. If you do not know the answer, you take your best guess. I'm going to get rid of 30. I'm going to get rid of 12. I got a 50-50 chance. I think it's higher than you may think. 24 and even 2 dozen. I'm going to go with 24. Lucy pops in with 10. Not one of your options, but you got it in before the options were available, so you could try again. November 20th, 1945, the Nuremberg trials begin. How many Nazi leaders were indicted at the start of the first trial? Was it 12? Was it 20? Was it 24? Or was it 30? James pops in with a dozen. I'm going with 2 dozen. Jessica's going with 2 dozen, even though she never answered the previous question. And Lucy has to give a new answer. Because we know 10 is wrong, but you got it in before the multiple choices were presented, so you can answer again. Again, our goal every week is to go 7 for 7. If you go, she goes 25. 25. 25. That's going to be wrong also, because it's not one of the multiple choice options. Next question. November 21st, 1877. Thomas Edison announced his invention of what device? What device was invented less than 200 years ago that may have changed our lives? Was it the light bulb, the phonograph, or record player, some of you may know it, the motion picture camera, or the telegraph repeater? I saw 10. Why are you arguing with me? Don't get me started. On November 21st, 1877, Thomas Edison announced his invention of what device? Was it the light bulb, the phonograph, the motion picture camera, or the telegraph repeater? Jessica pops in with the light bulb, to which I am inclined. I also believe it was the light bulb. We're going to let everybody else answer while we move on to the final question of the week. Jessica, Robert, light bulb. James, light bulbs and heating do it. It was a team of workers he paid. Yes. We know Thomas Edison was an ideas thief. We all know that. Stop being so daggone cynical. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. November 22nd. Uh-oh. That's a day that rings out in history. November 22nd, 1963. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Who was the Texas governor riding in the car with him? Ha 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 ha! Ha ha ha! You didn't think it was going to go that way, did you? Lucy said repoite. Or light. November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy is assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Who was the governor riding in the car with him? Here are your multiple choice. Robert goes with George H.W. Bush, which is funny. Here are your multiple choice options. Was it Rick Perry, Mayor Quimby, hilarious, John Connolly, Ann Richards, or Lyndon Johnson? November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas. Who was the Texas governor riding in the car with him? Was it Rick Perry, John Connolly, Ann Richards, or Lyndon Johnson? I'm going to go ahead and type in answers, please, while I wait for you alls or you'uns to give me yours. Robert says Lyndon Baines Johnson. He is wrong. Johnson was not in the car with Kennedy. Jessica says Johnson. James says Connolly. Lucy says Johnson. No, ladies and gentlemen, Johnson was not in the car with the president when he was shot. And he was not a governor of Texas. He was the vice president of the United States. The governor of Texas was John Connolly. But I could be wrong. I may be wrong. I may be crazy. I don't think they like the Irish in Texas, though. Apparently they do. They elected him governor. Here are your multiple choice answers. No, here are the answers. No multiple choice in them. Question number 1. Anybody but James got it wrong. It was B, the Sorcerer's Stone. 2 was the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. 3, time zones. Screw your train gauge. D was 3. Not even close. What the heck was that one? How many sentences in the speech? 3. Those were really long sentences. Apparently, President Lincoln didn't understand punctuation. So, yeah, I mean, there's entire books that are just one sentence. So is it possible that the Gettysburg Address is only 3 sentences? Of course it is. Didn't know that till now. Won't get it wrong again. How many Nazis at Nuremberg? 24, baby. I called it. 24. Anybody that didn't say 24? Wrong. Question number 6. Thomas Edison did not invent the light bulb on November 21st, 1877. No, it was time to get your groove on. He actually invented the record player. So, yeah. These are set at medium, and we don't do well. The final question, who was the governor sitting in the car when Kennedy was shot, and also took some fragmentation? It was Governor John Connolly. And that is This Week in History, a trivia style. Thanks for playing along. I always enjoy spending my Sunday mornings with you, all of you, to include Lucy and Robert and James and Jessica and Roger and Brian and Rob and all the other people who pop in on occasion. It's a great way to start your Sunday. I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you could be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Bruce sends her love, and a new episode of the Lunsby Show will be taped soon. So with that being said, Lunsby!